Hi, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing? How are the panelists doing? Super, high on energy? Okay, great. Right. So, as you know, today's session is on the new mantras for engaging, rewarding, and retaining customers. And the past year or two has shown us that everything has been reset due to the pandemic. Uh, Abandoned are the old days of working, old ways of doing things, and everyone is adapting to the new way of living and doing business. This is especially true for retail, for e-commerce to a lesser extent, but for physical retail to a far larger extent. And every kind of retail business has been forced to change, regardless of their size, channel, category, energy, or status. In the new era, the retail requires a complete mind change, adapting to all things digital and much more, and building new equations with the stakeholders. Every stakeholder from the customer to the staff, to the vendors, and the management itself. And as we enter into the new normal, I think even the definition of the new normal is changing as time goes on. 2022 and beyond will require new strategies and new focus. 2022, according to Forrester, will be a year of investment in new partnerships as some of the old retailers are facing difficulties and new ways of doing business are coming up. And retailers will be forced to position their business model, strategy, marketing, their different stores and operations in order to flourish. Experts predict that operations, returns, speed of delivery, convenience will be the key differentiators. And above all, what will matter is how the retailers are able to understand the changes in behavior and preferences of customers. Today's customers, as yesterday's customers, have a very high value on convenience. But today, there's also value on ethics as well. The pandemic has changed how everyone looks at the world and themselves. A lot of events have happened, people have been affected personally, business have been affected, and this has fundamentally changed the customer buying behavior. So we'll have a discussion on what are the new mantras to engage, reward, and retain customers in the new era. So the first point of discussion I'd like to put forward is, according to you, how have the customers changed? Pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, and even within the different stages of the pandemic, as the lockdowns happened, as the economies opened up. Let's start with you, sir.
We got an array of mics here, but one works. Third time lucky. Thank you very much. Congratulations to Rai for another successful event and a physical one, which is much awaited for the last 2 years, I would say. Thank you for having me on this panel. From a perspective, I don't think the consumer has changed. The way I look at it, our customer is the same. It kind of took a backseat due to the pandemic, and everybody knows that there were restrictions, especially with social distancing. Technically, the word social distancing is incorrect. It should have been called physical distancing, because socially we were always aligned. We were meeting people over WhatsApp, we were talking to each other. So socially we're still there, but I think physically we're supposed to be distanced. And what that did was that, people who are in the business of a brick and mortar like ours, I run a chain called the Beer Cafe, which means there is no possibility of an e-commerce at all. Everything that you do is you'll have to come and experience it at the store. We were shut for 6 months in wave 1 and almost 3 months in the wave 2. So if I look at it in the last 24 months, if I'm shut for 9 months, definitely there's a disruption of a size that was absolutely unprecedented. But when it comes to the customer, we didn't see any change, any behavior. The customer is always there, is still there. What they want is they want surety, they want trust. And I think they have gone back to the brands which they always had their, I would say, preference for, or let's say the loyalty for. Because if there is a trusted brand out there, they will go for that. And I think that word has actually played a lot for us. The customer is the same, it's come back to us. We're back in business. And so we've gone through all the 3 stages. The first being survive, we are all alive. Some of us were not as lucky. We then revived our business, which is where we are. And fortunately, at this last 2-3 months, we've seen the thrive coming in. So we're really thriving. Our numbers are beyond pre-COVID numbers due to multiple factors, where it's like ek hi jaan hai, let's go and enjoy it, or, the urge to splurge, or whatever word you want to use. But we see people back with a vengeance, and it's the same customer who's coming back to us. We don't see any behavioral change there. It's just that they're going for trusted brand, if I may.
So for I run Mohanlal Sons. We're into celebration wear. Primarily, most of our business is offline. So about 95% business is offline. So we were, as Rahul said, we were greatly impacted by, especially the first wave. Most of our stores were closed down from anywhere between 2 to 3 months. So to engage with the customers and to still stay relevant, we actually changed the way we worked. So we started making catalogs. We contacted them on WhatsApp. We started making masks because what I discovered in March, there was no time for me, my team to get up. I was getting up at like 12 o'clock, taking a shower at 6 p.m. So we had to do something to keep our staff engaged. We did not let go of any staff at any stage of the lockdown. Nice. So we started making masks. We reached out to the customer. We literally gave them out at cost prices, but at least we stayed relevant during that time, and the customers appreciated that we were doing something. We donated a lot of masks as well at that time. So for us, the customer is actually, still 80% of the customer is the same, but also at the same time, the customers got much more digitally savvy. So my grandmother has started purchasing online, which I could have never ever imagined would ever happen. So, we have actually completely, to stay in tune, we have actually revamped our website. I still don't expect majority of our revenue to come online because in our product category, customers still want to touch and feel, but they would still, probably 80% of the customers would browse us online before they go and purchase. So we have also, just again, in terms of presence, we started tying up with different marketplaces as well. Again, not so much for revenue, but more for just for visibility and presence. Also, the customer, I feel, is now looking even more for personalized experiences. So, last Diwali, after lockdown 1, all our top 100 customers in each store, we gave out a complimentary personalized mask to them. We had their initials on the mask, and customers wore them. They put it out on the social media. So it was a very, very good campaign for us. So people connected with us. So I think so digital presence, definitely. They are more digitally savvy, looking for more personalized experience. And they are also, looking to be more socially engaged. Whether it is in the stores or whether it is on social media, that's a different point altogether.
Hi. So my name is Ashim Patil. So we are a auto ID inventory solution provider based on RFID technology. So my customers are the retailers, the Mohanlals, and the retailers are my customers. And I can't answer whether they have changed, but one thing I can be 100% sure that they are ready for change. So whatever the mindset was there in pitching our solutions, the technology enablement of in the retail vertical, the customers are more receptive towards technology. The customers are more open-minded as to how technology can help them in convergence of the brick and mortar as well as the online sales, that is the omni-channel fulfillment. So I am 100% sure that what the pandemic has brought in is the readiness for change, the readiness for experimenting, the readiness for doing different kinds of POCs and pilots to experiment with the technologies.
Hi everyone, I'm Nitin Bansal. I'm handling a fast fashion brand MINISO. So, replying to your question, I'll reply it in two parts. Post-COVID first wave, we have suffered a lot because customers were not willing to buy, since we are running a impulse category, and customers were not willing to buy and enter into a store wherein it's mostly impulsive. So we have suffered a lot, say for at least till Diwali, and post Diwali we have seen a drastic change wherein customers started entering our store and the sales went say from 30% to approximately 75%. Post that, yes, it has been a change in the customer behavior and the sentiments while they are buying, because I believe there is a certain income level of customers So the lower level income customers and the middle level income customers, they few percentage of them were affected because of the COVID. Some were not getting their salary, some were being laid off. So that has affected us. But if I talk about post second COVID wave, I I've seen that the sales were come back on day one itself, and we have started doing approximately 80% business from day one. So for me, yes, the customer has changed because now when I see my business has grown a little more than pre-COVID. So yes, it has been changed, but the change is better for the betterment for us. And if I talk about on the second point, wherein we as Miniso, we used to believe that we want to sell our products only through offline channel, whereas COVID has taught us that we can also sell through our online channels, wherein we started selling through Amazon firstly, although it was there pre-COVID also, but then we were not concentrating on this. And then what we have seen is a big volume coming up from the online sales also for us. So that's a good change.
Right. So I think the learning here is that, especially post wave two, sort of like the revenge tourism that people call, there has been revenge, the retail therapy. Great. So the second point of discussion is, I'm sure everyone has strategies to engage the customers previously. How have those strategies changed, both from your perspective, what your intuition says, and both from the perspective of collecting feedback from the customers? How do they want to be engaged? So can you talk a bit more about that?
I can start with that. So,
Good.
our emphasis has been more from, going from a traditional push marketing, like,
Right.
Newspaper ads, outdoors. We're trying to get more into engagement marketing. Trying to have, more engagement with the customers on social media. So, for example, get their views on, what our upcoming collection should be. It's still a work in progress. We're not there. But, getting more engagement from them, running few more contests, trying to have more engagement with the customer. Because I think that is what the customer is looking for in these times. But it's a slow process because still, part of our customers are, we can't completely let go of the traditional marketing.
Right.
But slowly so like for example, we recently launched a store in Phoenix Mall, Pune. So the first time we actually called, influencers and bloggers for the launch. And I was very circumspect personally, but to our surprise, that actually got a lot of engagement. And for a few days, even after the launch, it was trending. So those are the kind of things that we're trying to, because we are a very old brand. We are India's oldest retailer. So, but that has its own benefits. But we have to start thinking young and start thinking as what what the new generation wants to stay relevant.
Right. Yeah, as they say, go where the customers are.
Absolutely.
Customers right now are on social media. Yeah. Rahulji.
So in our case, it was very simple. We had to just first and foremost, as soon as we reopened, we had to tell everybody we are open. So I think
Right.
that in itself was a communication where, we are open. And the other is the safety angle. Because a lot of places which did open, I'm talking about after wave one, we saw gory pictures of people dancing and, people had taken off their precautions and, people are jostling with space. And I think that is something we wanted to communicate, that we are very safe. All of our staff have been vaccinated at that time, single and now double. And then we follow protocols and we are like, keeping a distance. COVID, it can hit anybody, but as far as we are concerned, as much as we could do from a safety angle. And I think the consumers really like that. They wanted to come out in any case. There's a lot of people who are always on the, fence saying that should I go out or not? But at the end of the day, it's a very large populace out there and there will be two sides to the coin. But we maintained that distance. We said, we will not have any of that you normally see in clubs and places where people are jostling with pace. Let them be at ease. Sanitizers and, communication, digital menus and whatever you have, which you probably read in the hospitality world, people took to. And we went to that. But I think from a communication point of view, the entire phase of the first quarter was only on the safety and the precautions. And, yes, we have the beers for you and we wear the precautionary measures. I think the wave two really hit badly. It was, I think as a country, we were not very well prepared. We let our guard down. And that really took a lot of, I think, wave two was disastrous, if you may. It was a tidal wave of a kind, which was really like a tsunami. It did last very short for a while, and that kind of allowed us to go back. Also, the center did not take the first step of creating the norms. It was a state, and I think each state wanted the economy to bounce back, and I think we were bouncing back quickly. But today we have now gone back to, I would say, kind of a little bit on the traditional side, where we're talking about the curiosity of beers and talking about how this and that, but we're still abstaining for ourselves by not doing any events of that nature, not doing any gigs, and trying to basically not trying to be let's say over happy, if you may. We're just saying, okay, the beers are there for you, come and enjoy yourself. I think we still have to be guarded because like you rightly seen, and there is maybe a wave coming through, and this will come and go.
Yeah.
But I think we need to be really precautious of what we do. And unlike a lot of the retail, which my fellow panelists are and the others are, that there's e-commerce angle. We don't have e-commerce in the business of liquor.
Right.
Because there's no e-commerce, we are only governed by the pure brick and mortar and sit here and drink kind of a business. And it becomes, I would say, the options get slightly obscure. The other is we're not allowed to technically advertise too. So we have also restrictions and guardrails about how do you communicate. So you can't communicate. You have a surrogate way of advertising. So that becomes slightly a problem for communication. But like I said, if you have a neighborhood place, it's safe and sound, people know you, they'll come and fetch you. It's that's the beauty of our business. People will come to you.
Right. So I'm sure in the nightlife or restaurant industry, we have this. I've personally seen that after a few drinks, people tend to take less precautions. So I'm sure that you're handling that effectively also.
It's important because at the end of the day, we can't really, we can't preach, but we can at least communicate. The idea here is to first of all create your own guardrails.
Right.
Don't do anything which will promote, people coming together and jostling with them. So try and keep that. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's up to the brand what they stand for. Some people don't give two hoots about it. For them, business is more important. We think business is perpetual. That's where the whole consumer connect is. They have to be safe. Today, safety is more important than anything else.
Right, and they have to be communicated that
That's exactly
actually
what.
safe.
So if you go to any store, you'll see all the stickers, everything. It's not just we want to just basically pass the protocols, but we follow them also.
Right.
I can just add to that, especially after the first lockdown. So we actually made a safety video and we actually put it on all our LEDs in our stores and we sent it by WhatsApp and we got a lot of traction. Customers actually came to us and told us that because we were following all the protocols, we were doing steam ironing after every trial, obviously sanitizers, everyone. So customers, and after the first vaccination, we communicated that.
Right.
Second vaccination, we haven't, but definitely now I think we will do that as well. So those things actually made a lot of difference. Customer is definitely more focused on hygiene, more on safety, and we benefited in a quicker recovery because we had those SOPs in place and we were very, very strict to ensure that those things were getting followed.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, so our customers want to engage with their customers, and we help by way of RFID and NFC technology by building solutions for that, So the first step for engagement is getting connected with your customer. I can quote some examples here, we are doing a project for a winery, where we are putting RFID NFC tags on the wine bottle. So what this tag does is on the tap of your mobile phone, you using it, whichever phone has got an NFC, it will tell you whether it is a spurious wine or whether it is the original one and all the details about that wine. It will tell you whether the bottle is sealed or open. But more importantly, when in the customer engagement, what our customer wants to do is cross-selling. He wants to sell cheese with wine. So when a person has bought wine, and when he taps onto the wine, it takes it to the URL where he's got his e-commerce, where he's selling recipes, he's selling cheese, and he's doing the cross-selling. Right. So this is the rewarding. He's giving a free ticket to the winery, when you tap onto the wine. Right. So this is not only connecting, but connecting, engaging, rewarding, and now retaining. So he's creating a loyalty program around it. So like Vistara or a Jet had it. Where you are taking multiple flights and then your silver, gold, platinum, so on and so forth. So depending on your consumption pattern, today the last data which, the consumer data, my customer did not have it at all. We are also now trying to work out on a solution where when the wine is sold into a restaurant or a bar, how he can engage when it is poured into multiple glasses with the customers. Right. So this is the level of engagement our customers are wanting, and we are building onto it. And we don't know. I mean, I just demonstrated to Mohan on my belt. I am using a Ferragamo. On my belt, if I tap my mobile phone on my belt, there is inside a leather, there is a RFID tag embedded, and it takes me to the Ferragamo website. And I didn't even know about it. And it will be marketed the way Bluetooth was there in our mobile phones many years back, and we didn't know what to do with Bluetooth. The same way the RFID and NFC is there in our phones, and it is more about engagement. Very soon we won't be exchanging any business cards. We'll be just tapping the phones on to each other, and that is how the data exchange and the data communication will happen. So this is just one use case. Another use case of customer engagement is the smart mirrors, which we are doing for our RFID smart mirrors in retail apparel. Where our customers have realized that in the trial room, they want to make the sale while the apparel has been tried out. Because from the trial room till the point of sale, the decisions change. So how can we facilitate that? How can they engage with the customer in the trial room? So we are building solutions around that. There are many such examples. So ultimately, whatever we started the journey for inventory, omni-channel fulfillment, loss prevention, pilferage, this, that, ultimately it's leading to enriching the customer experience, engaging with the customer, rewarding them, retaining them, and not only making him a loyal customer, but our customers want their customer to become an influencer for others to come and adopt for the services or buy the products. So this is how the technology enablement is happening. Thank you.
So for us, say post-COVID first wave, it was very difficult to get the customer inside the store, or maybe even to let them out of their house. So for that, we have used a very simple method of, since we already had the data with us of our existing customers, and most of our stores are being run by our franchise partners. So what they've done is they have made certain WhatsApp groups on which they used to tell them that these are the new arrivals, and these are the existing products which they have also bought earlier. Our the major percentage of sales come from skincare and cosmetics. So they used to track their sales of the cosmetics and skincare, which they've done, say, 6 months earlier, and they used to send them messages that these you have purchased maybe 4, 5 or 6 months earlier. These must have been either used. So if they want it new, then we can send it to your home, and or they can collect it outside the store or maybe outside the mall. That's how we have engaged our customers.
So I think technology has enabled a lot of new methods of engagement, and I think because there was a need for some new methods of engagement, new technology has also been invented. Speaking from a personal experience, for example, we've done a lot of projects for QSRs where we're monitoring if the staff itself is wearing proper hygiene related equipment, gloves, they're following proper protocol, staff is wearing proper protocol, and that has led to even our customers doing some marketing campaigns in order to ensure that the consumers have a trust that mostly I think with the pandemic the trust is based on the hygiene rather than anything else. I think that is at the top, and close second comes convenience, of course, because you don't want to go out in a lot of cases if you can help it. I mean, in liquor, you really can't, right? So, in today's scenario, in today's context, what, according to you, are the factors that determine the customer loyalty? And how has that changed before? Like, according to you, what does the customer put at the top of their sort of food chain in order to determine the loyalty towards a brand? And have those loyalties changed because of the actions that you have taken? I think you can start.
So loyalty is an extremely important, element for our business. I can share this with you that you'll be surprised with this. So we have two kinds of matrix that we run our business on. One is called average per consumer or per cover, because We are not an e-commerce and we're not a takeaway or a delivery. So we can count, so this table has 2 people. So every time 2 people sit, we do by cover because it allows us to see how many covers are there because every seat is, a business point of unit.
Right.
But because a bill for a particular table will be a common bill, that's a transactional bill, then, that bill is what you can get. So if you split your bill, you'll be 2 bills.
Right.
So technically each bill is like a loyalty paper for you to kind of transact with. Now, because this is not online, this is offline, and the way our system works that you can earn points from whatever you have transacted. Right now, 82% of all the transaction people take loyalty points on. That's
Right.
the amount of loyalty that we're getting, 82%. Now, in online, it can be 100% because technically you can kind of force upon a loyalty program on an online vertical. Right. But for people to opt in for 82%, for a brand like ours, we have 400,000 active users of our app, which is purely our own native app. This is not a networking app or, this is not like a Paytm or something. This is our own app. So it really, really behooves from a perspective that I think the consumer needs the loyalty. And I think the loyalty comes in from a lifetime value. What are they going to get? They see a brand, like I'll give you an example. One of my favorite brands in the beverage is Starbucks. Right. Starbucks has such a great loyalty program. In the US, their money on the wallet is more than Wells Fargo Bank. Right. So people who have put money on the wallet of Starbucks is more money than a bank itself. So that's the kind of loyalty that the brand has been able to create because it's like a daily use brand. You're always, and at one time Starbucks was really an old school brand. They didn't have an app. The moment they went digital, and we followed in our way that, we said we will be very digital, we'll be very tech savvy, we'll be tech enabled. I'm not tech dependent. My business will not stop if the technology stops. But yes, I want to be enabled with technology. It helps my business. And I think that's been very good. But this also gives us a lot of behavioral. It gives us a lot of deep insights, and which is your field. But it tells us from a point that I've not used predictive analysis yet, but we're using some bit of cohorts and figuring out because we believe it's n to the power of 1 where every consumer is bespoke. Every consumer. So there could be a consumer who only doesn't eat meat but drinks a beer. There could be a consumer who only drinks a particular kind of a beer. So those data points are coming to us. And data is like the new oil, which everybody says. But it's about if you can mine that oil, then it makes sense. But otherwise, what will you do with the data? So at this point in time, we're doing that. We are now going to be creating our campaigns. We were doing slightly broader campaigns, but technically now we can do individual campaigns, and our engine is working there, where the engine is now working on individual campaigns. So it's a lot of hard work, but it will allow customization. It will allow you to come as, here Rahul, this is for you. Not saying everybody in this room, one step, like 15% off to everybody. That's not a campaign, so it's now going to be very bespoke, and that's what we're heading towards. So loyalty is extremely important. To me, that is, the most important factor in our business. Right. Without that customer, I'm nobody. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. So as they say, talking about data, there are 3 generations to the data. First is knowing that there can be data which is collected. Second generation is collecting that data. And third is actually using that data for analysis. So we're somewhere between second and third right now, moving towards the third.
So loyalty is the most important, as Rahul said. So, we have actually 2 or 3 generations of people coming to us, and several times they come all at the same time. So for loyalty, and we noticed this during after the first wave. One reason we rebounded quicker than others was because we were able to engage with them. And our conversion ratio shot up from about 50% to almost 90%. Because customers used to come, they were confident about us. They had a pre-existing relationship with the brand, with our sales teams, oftentimes with the promoters as well. And they used to come, they used to not even go to any of our competitors. If they liked something, they would go and purchase right away. Right. So loyalty played a big part. I don't think loyalty per se has changed after the pandemic, but the tools to acquire it and tools to maintain it might have changed. Right. So like for example, what we started doing recently is, we on social media, we do a couple of client stories a week. So we tag one of our customers, we tag them during the wedding or any other celebration. And so that really elevates their social status. So those are the posts that get the most engagement on our pages. So those kind of things, would help bring even more loyalty. So they're far more keen to visit us in the future and also recommend other people. So those things will keep changing, but loyalty per se is definitely the most important thing in our line of the business.
Right. I think kudos to your social media strategy. First, influencer marketing, tagging people.
We're
I think that's
still
really working.
we're still getting there. I mean, I think
Right.
we're only 20% through the journey.
Right.
80% we are still very far.
Right. Do you think before COVID, your customers would try out your competitors, and now they don't, or how is it?
No, see, if you make, so wedding purchase is one of the most important purchases you can do.
Right.
So typically you would want to go. So what changed was earlier, even if you like something, you'll want to browse, you'll want to go. But because of COVID and the, and fears around safety, so they would typically, about half of them would still purchase from me from the first time.
Right.
But now, far a higher percentage would be keen to buy in the very first time. Plus we increased our presence digitally.
Right.
So now, earlier only about 5 to 10% of our designs were available on our website.
Right.
Now we are about to launch a new website in which each and every design that we have offline will be available online. So they would already know, what they can get. So once they come, there is no reason for them not to buy if they've already liked something online.
And of course, once you see something multiple times, your trust
Absolutely
increases a bit.
Absolutely. And we started doing, again, online, COVID taught us. We started doing remarketing, and we started doing far more of SEO and AdWords. So those things all, helped us to, engage with the customer.
Yeah. So on loyalty, yes, definitely in any business, and loyalty is basically a reactive thing, You have to serve your customer well, and then in return what you get is loyalty. It is just not given. So it is a reactive thing. The reason why it is important is there is in every business, especially you are in the B2C kind of businesses, but in our B2B business, now however the terminologies are changing from B2B, B2C, now it is D2C, direct to customer, and then now with the O2O, that is online to offline, offline to online. So all these terminologies are changing, but the essence still remains the same. The cost of customer acquisition is very high. If you have to get a customer to your shop or to your store, the amount of effort, or for me to get a customer, a retail chain to invest into my solution, it's a very high cost, a lot of effort, a lot of hard work, and without loyalty you can't retain it, and that is, if you have to sum it up, so we have to have, and everything has to work around creating a loyal customer. And as I said earlier, it is more than loyalty, how he can now influence and get more people use your service. We have to think one step ahead. How you can enable him to become an influencer. That's why the social media handles and everything are helping, wherein you are flaunting your fashion in a trial room, and then you are not only buying the product, but you are influencing in a way others, or depending on your looks and everything, for others or your friends or your family to buy that product. So this is where what a loyal customer can do. He is the best marketing tool or the sales tool which any business can have.
As rightly said by everyone, loyalty is very crucial for our business. So for this, we have recently launched our own loyalty program, say 6-7 months back, and within a span of this much time, we have almost data of approximately 4.5 lakh customers. But how do they become loyal customers? It's not that when we are registering them, they are our loyal customers. And that's what we have to define, whether they are our who are our loyal customers, whether they are coming up every month to buy from our store, or say how many times in a year they are coming up to buy from our stores, and then whether they are rebuying the same products or they are buying the new products. So when I talk about my category, we have a lot of SKUs, and if I talk about the last point, that whether they are buying the similar products, then I might say no, because I might not be able to offer them the same products again. But yes, when I think of myself as a customer, I think that any customer will go at least 2 times in a mall or on a high street to buy something, or maybe just to roam around. So I believe loyalty comes for my brand, if my customer is coming at least 8 to 10 times in a year in my store, for how I can make my customer loyal to my brand, that's where the point is. Whether I need to spend something to make that customer loyal, or whether that customer is actually loyal and when I'm not spending anything and still he is loyal. Therein, the percentage of, say, the customers, uh, for those who I need not to spend anything, is a little less than where I have to spend and make them loyal is very high. So we are working on it, and since we are in the nascent stage wherein we have launched our loyalty program, so maybe I might not be able to comment rightly on it, but I think we really have to spend a little amount of money, or maybe any rewards, whatever we can give to our customers to make them loyal to our brand.
Right. So you mentioned you have a lot of SKUs, and earlier we were mentioning that a lot of your customers do impulse buys. So it's probably also important to understand that did the customer come in because they saw your store, or they came into your store because they wanted to go? So do you do that distinction right now, or?
Not right now. Honestly, you have rightly caught this point.
Right.
For me, what we believe is more than 50% of our purchase of from our stores are impulse buying, and we believe that people do not come out of their home and say that okay, let's go, मुझे MINISO जाना है कुछ shopping करने के लिए. That the percentage of those customers are really very less.
Right.
But yes, I believe customers are attracted towards our products. They have faith towards our brand. Since when we launched MINISO in India, and as an Indian, I know that when we are selling cosmetic products and we are selling skincare products, there are so many brands out there in the Indian retail market. We were also thinking whether customers will buy products from our stores or not. Being saying we are a Chinese brand, but then we are providing affordable pricing cosmetics and skincare. But then I've seen that customers really want to try, and if they feel like yes, the quality of the product is good, then they become loyal to that brand.
Right.
That's there.
Understood. Interesting, right. So I'm sure we discussed a bit, we touched upon the topic of technology in customer interaction. So how do you think the role of technology has changed? Are you still using the same technologies you did, say, 2 years ago? How have they changed? Have you tried new technologies that actually failed, and then you had to try differently? Or basically, what is the role of technology currently in the customer engagement and the interactions that you do once the customers are inside your establishment as well?
Like I said, technology is an extremely important part, and for me, it's like we refer it to like a duck's effect. So when you see a duck on a lake, you'll see the duck really floating, but she's actually paddling like crazy below the water, and that's why she's afloat. So from a consumer point of view, from a guest point of view, they should just see no technology on their face. They should not be obstructed with any technology. For them, it should be just, I'm coming here, I'm going to spend some 30, 40 minutes, I'm going to have a good time. I'm here to de-stress, not take more stress. So we don't promote any phones and any kind of technology within the environment. We do have an app, but we don't promote that you have to open the app right now. It's all below the radar, where we just keep all the technology working in the back end. A lot of technology has obviously changed over the last 2 years. We started at one time with beacons. It didn't work for us. RFID doesn't work in our case because it's tough. We tried augmented reality. We had a bit of a success where every bottle was graphically put into the system and people could look at it. So it was like gamification. But what's working right now for us as a new technology over the last 1 year, apart from whatever else we use, is a ring technology that we use with Wi-Fi beacons. So in India, everybody keeps their Wi-Fi on for whatever reason. Bluetooth, as you know, and it's traditionally thought that Bluetooth saps your energy, so people normally keep it switched off. It's also very close proximity. But what it does is the Wi-Fi has a pretty strong signal, and for some reason your Wi-Fi toggle is usually on. And because of that, we can actually do a reverse radar, which we basically, it's a sonar where we work on a reverse way, where we can actually ping your the MAC IDs of your phones. And at that stage, once you recognize yourself, which is wherever you recognize yourself, then we kind of correlate you with your phone number, and then we know that this is, you know, XYZ. So we do a lot of that, and we've started seeing a lot of, so we do geo-fencing within our stores, outside the stores. We call it fencing, and we know where the consumers are. There obviously staff is blacklisted so that they don't show in the data. A lot of data is coming through, and like I said, it's all about how to use the data. There's certain case uses, I'll tell you, which is really strange, but we try and see where people go and sit. Do they go to the left or the right? Do they sit on the higher table or the lower table? Where do women go? Where do men go? This allows us to plan our new stores slightly more scientifically, because this is the only way we can get consumer data. And I can bet myself that whenever you ask for feedback from a consumer, you will not really get the right feedback. Most of the feedback forms you see in a restaurant are absolutely just filled in a hurry. It really doesn't make sense. You know, if you even go to a restaurant, put your hand on your heart, and you would have never filled anything in the righteous manner. Theek hai, jaldi chalo. You know, he's just forcing me to fill the feedback. So we really don't believe. The other thing we realize is that if you've done something wrong, your feedback will anyway come. And you have to be the feedback manager there. So in our setup, any feedback, whether it's through our app, through our Google, through our Zomato, whatever it is, it directly comes to me. I read almost 300 to 400 feedbacks every day. And it's so it's again, we use technology because I don't have to read it in detail. We use a company which does screening of all the data that's there on feedback mechanism. And what it does, it throws out the right data for me. Reading 400 emails is impossible, but it tells me wherever the problems are, wherever the noise is. And if you can actually react to that feedback, and so I can't tell you, if you call the customer within the day of a negative feedback directly, it's a customer for life. You'll forget everything. And I'll tell you, the customer, when it has a negative feedback, will tell 4 more people about negative than positive. Negative feedback, word of mouth, is more than positive. Positive, everybody knows, but negative spreads like wildfire. And you need to curtail it there and there. Don't let the fire go wild. And that customer will just lose every pretension, any, you know, whatever she or he thought about you, and loyal for life. Even now I have customers, I still remember 2012, a negative customer is one of our best customers today, because every opening they come, and for 9 years, you know, the negative customer review actually became one of our most important ambassadors. They tag our store in almost every post of theirs, and we don't pay them for them. But I'm just saying, this is how you can turn around a negative into positive. So it's all possible. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Some of our most loyal customers are also initially who were unhappy with us for whatever reason. The fitting was not as per the expectation or quality issues, but we haven't used technology yet for it, but I would be happy to know more about that. Yeah, okay. And but we do it because we still have about 20 stores, so we're still doing it manually, but we actually make it a point to call the customer, and it works wonders. 9 out of 10 customers actually come back after that. So that really works. And as far as technology is changed, so you know, from the front end and the back end, we have done a few things. Front end, you know, we've revamped our website, we've tied up with, you know, as I mentioned, with different marketplaces. So we are truly looking to have an omni-channel experience to the customer. Even though I'm expecting most of my sales to come offline, I still want that facility to be there in terms of convenience for the customer to order online, exchange it offline, you know, order offline, exchange it through mail, do whatever. So we are working on that, and hopefully within the next few months, we should have that platform up and running. From a back-end point of view, you know, another thing about customer loyalty is having the right product at the right store. So we've actually worked with, you know, we've got a BI partner with us. So over the last 2 years, we've really been working at the back end, trying to get the right inventory in the right store, have the right inventory optimization throughout the store, because that is the only way, you know, we had to cut our costs. You have to, you know, try to be more profitable during that time. So that is another thing that we've been working on. Again, it's a work in progress, but I expect even, you know, that to start showing results soon.
I guess when the difference between the channels of the customer acquisition and sales become blurred, you have to actually measure the whole life cycle to know where, you know, you're lagging as a company and where your strengths are, I guess.
Absolutely. We actually were able to cut a lot of fat without laying off anyone, but the real fat was not in the HR, it was in other places.
Processes.
Processes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So, Ashim.
So with regards to technology, since we have a lot of different categories, and we are not directly doing anything regarding this with our customers, but indirectly what we are doing is we are only using the social media, or maybe we are sending out messages to our customers whenever we are launching any new series, or whenever we are launching a new product category in a particular store and we are doing an event. So that's what we are doing, because we believe our customers, when they are coming inside the store and they see our products, we do not need any technology in between our customer and the product. But yes, backend we are using the technology wherein we are checking uh, in which store and in which region, or say in which city, in which state, which category is selling more, and which category is we are unable to sell, whether there is a color specific thing which we are unable to sell. So on those points, yes, we are working, and we when the order comes, or say any store manager or the area manager, when they are ordering through our warehouse, we first advise them that these products either you do not buy, and these products are advisable for you to buy. So that's where we are using technology.
Do most of your stores have the same SKUs, or is there differentiation between according to region or according to type of the store?
So most of the stores have same SKUs, but uh, we just try to find out if there is any store which is not doing well, then this part comes up, and then we check why these products we are unable to sell in this particular city, whereas in the nearby cities what all products we are selling. So in those only stores we have certain different SKUs.
Right, correct. So next discussion is an interesting one. I'm sure everyone here would agree that as humans, we like to receive something extra from what we expect. And if the brand does that correctly, then of course the loyalty can go up. So again, from a technology perspective and from a timing perspective, how do you think the reward metrics have changed from you as a brand and from what the customers expect as well? Have you changed the kind of rewards and the quantum of rewards you give to the customers, or when you give the rewards to the customers?
We kept it very simple, because one of the things about seeing rewards is I've been part of many loyalty programs in the past, and as a consumer and as a business person and as an employee of a company, and I realized that reward points, or let's say call loyalty or whatever you want to call it, needs to be as simple as possible. The simpler it is, the easier it is for them to understand. So I can bet myself that everybody has a credit card in their wallet right now. You pull it out, you won't even remember what the loyalty, the points are. How many points are you getting? How are you going to burn it? It's just all over the place. People also lose their points because they don't, use them or redeem them on time. So it's kind of complicated. When we set it up, 2012 is when we started our program. It's also now trademarked to ourselves. We call it Brew Miles. We made it very simple. We just said it'll be an earn and burn program. Very simply, 1 rupee gives you 1 point. So it's very simple maths. I spent 1232 rupees, I'll get 1232 points. So it's very easy to understand. And then you will burn in slabs. Again, very simple, just like miles. 1000 points give me this much, 2000 gives me this much. And we created this into two different segments. One is cashback, which means, some people like money as a part. Some people say, I don't need the money, give me something free. So it's either a freebie or a cashback, whatever you choose. So 1000 points can give you a cashback, or it can give you a freebie. And at this time, this is in your next purchase. We also did a no window. So there's no blackout date. You can earn and burn across the 365 days, except for dry days, obviously. But importantly, it has also got no expiry. But I can tell you the most successful loyalty program is where people burn. It's not about earning. It's not about holding the points. The more you burn, obviously your earning will be more than burning, mathematically, because you're earning in odd numbers and you're burning in slabs. But if you can have a lot of burn, it's an amazing program. So if you have 80 to 90% of burn, which means the customer is coming back and again, he's liking your loyalty program, he's using the loyalty program. That's a very important aspect. So very few loyalty programs in the world have been able to see that. And that's to me a very important matrix, that if you've earned, have you burned it, and how quickly have you burned it? have you lost the, points and you kind of, forgotten about it? Because having a point which is forgotten is of no use. But like I said, I just keep it very simple. We've not played around with it. The freebies change depending on the city and the place, depending on what the products are. But the cashback is as simple. I think the worst cashback was invented about 3-4 years back. Like somebody came out with this word called cashback. There's nothing called cashback. But now everybody here understands what cashback is. It basically means my next purchase, I'll be able to get a bit of a discount. And yes, it works. Who doesn't want a deal? We all want a deal at the end of the day. So why not?
Do you also follow the Starbucks model of letting people recharge their cards and, in the hopes that some of them won't use the full amount?
So that's...
You have more money than SBI.
Yeah, so it's a gray area to start with.
Right.
So one is that I can't have my own payment gateway. We're not allowed to do that. As a liquor company, you are not allowed to do that. So when you go to somebody which is in an intermediary, so you can go to Just Pay or you can go to Razor Pay or whoever, they also have restrictions.
Right.
So it's very funny. You will see that they cannot transact, anything which is promoting liquor.
Right.
So what we did during COVID was we tried out, and this happened with Razor Pay. They allowed us to do it. We explained to them that we are doing a coupon system because we are shut for business. So we will do what we call beer more. That's the word we use. So we'll double your money. So this is the time we need your money to pay our wages. So you give 1,000 rupees and we'll give you 2,000 rupees which can be used over the next 12 months.
Right.
Whenever we do open.
Right.
Now, we didn't open for 6 months. So we had to actually extend that date. And so if I look at the data today, very few people have forgotten about it. But people are very smart, they remember it. Some people where their vouchers got expired due to the timeline have actually written directly to me through whatever reasons, saying, can you extend it because I was like not feeling well and all. And we don't have a problem, we'll extend it. But yes, we could collect some money, which was the most precious money I've ever seen. Because that money allowed us to pay 1 month of wages at that stage, I remember. But that was a great product for us. Now it's also become very popular today. It's called BNPL, which is the biggest new thing that everybody in the fintech is talking about, which means buy now, pay later. I always had BNPL, which means bear now, pay later. So I had a program where you could bear now, pay after a month. We also have something called what we say, buy now, bear later, which means you can buy now and I'll give you double your beer. So we keep doing these things.
Right.
We're just working with a company which is an amazing company at this point in time called Cred, where we're coming out with some crazy programs in the next 1 month in the new year, where we'll do all these kind of, you want to call them gimmicks or whatever, but it actually works. The consumer is really fascinated with his phone. And they're just looking at something or other. They keep even doing gamification.
Right.
On Cred, people I see that they keep basically doing roulettes and slots. It's just better kya kare.
Right.
So that's how it is.
Sure, it's
helps us.
entertaining for the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The more he is there for you, the better it is.
Right.
So in our case, the nature of the business, we don't have a lot of recurring business in a particular year because it's a largely ceremonial way. So points don't make sense. What we instead do is we give a lot of value-added services. To our loyal customers, we give options like home service. We do a personal appointment with a stylist, with a designer. So we are doing those things. Plus also, what works in our case is the whole referral part. They would be referring their, near and dear ones to us. So we give the same services to anyone that they are referring. So, they लगता है कि ये तो हमारी दुकान है. कि आप वहाँ पे जाओ, you get VIP treatment.
Right.
So once we know that someone is coming with that loyal customer's reference, so we make sure that they are, given the same kind of treatment. Right now, again, most of this is not, we don't have a technology per se to manage this, but we are looking at, having a, technology to manage the whole referral program. So that is still a work in progress that we're looking to do.
So the reward is essentially the good experience that they get once.
Yes, the
once
value-added experience, the good experience. Because in our store, for a typical customer would spend at least 3 to 4 hours in a store, and it would typically not be one visit; it will be 2 to 3 visits.
Right.
So the time spent, the experience they get during that time is very, very important.
Alteration times and
Alteration
stuff.
times, and then we also have started making VIP rooms in some of our bigger stores.
Right.
So those rooms are then reserved for these customers.
Right. Interesting. Love to hear from another technology company as well.
Yeah, so for us in the B2B, the rewards work in a different manner, But I mean, we believe not in value addition, but giving value,
Right.
So for any business, for any business, if we are giving value, that is the biggest reward which we can, I can't even call it a reward. That is a privilege we will have, you know, for the association, for the partnership, and we believe in that. But for our customer, you know, we are doing a lot of technology solutions to, and it all, as I mentioned earlier, it starts with the engagement. If you have to reward somebody, you know, you have to start engagement. You have to start identifying the right customer, you know. Now, in case of Rahul, they are identifying the customer with the IP address and the mobile numbers and everything. In case of Mohan, you know, they are doing it. It's a very personalized experience which they are offering. I'm sure in case of you, it must be something else. So for our customer, you know, the more we use the technology for our customers to engage or to connect or to identify the customers and the behavioral patterns of our customer. If they are, see, people were talking about proactive solutions or proactive decision making. What I think Rahul is doing is prescriptive decision making. You know, he is actually prescribing that what you are supposed to do, rather than taking it in a proactive way. So from proactive to prescriptive is what the things are changed. The way people are thinking is changing. And I think the technology we are working on is taking our customers to the prescriptive mode.
Right.
So for us, the metrics has changed a lot because earlier we did not have our loyalty program and we did not used to reward our customers. But yes, when we have launched this loyalty program, we have started rewarding our customers. Not with regards to that we are giving them any reward points yet. We have not started that. But yes, when they are registering themselves as a member with us, I'm sorry. So we are giving them some free item at the first purchase. Yes, we are giving them a bigger free item, and then when they come, say in the 1 month time, if they are doing 2 or 3 visits, then we are giving on each and every visit we are giving them either 1 or 2 item that's specified with a particular range. So this is what we are doing with regards to giving them rewards when they are a member with us. And when you're saying whether you have changed the timing of giving the rewards, so yes, we have tried to change it. Generally, what happens is uh, retailers, they what I have seen as a customers, retailers, they do not give much rewards during the festival time. But for the first time, since we have tried it out for the first time during this Diwali season, we have given say discount of almost 15% on a shopping of 1000 rupees on all our stores. We just wanted to check whether customers will buy more from our stores, and it's not just that if A, B, and C, they both, all three of them are customers, whether they only buy from our store. We wanted to attract the other customers who do not buy for Diwali gifting from our store. Right. So we wanted them also to buy from our store, and it has gone really well because during before the 1 month of Diwali season, we have registered so many new customers who have bought, say, in really a huge ticket size from us. So now I think we are deciding on to give more rewards during the festival season rather than giving more rewards during the end of season sale, because for us, when the other retailers, they are coming up with the end of season sale, our sales already increases because we what we need is a lot of footfall in the mall and in the on the high street. So when it is already there, we do not want to reward them. But what we want to do is we want to increase our ticket size, and so we are going to do it during the festival season.
Right. So apart from the festival season, because I think festival season are an anomaly for most retailers, except I think maybe yours. Apart from the festival season, do you think your metrics like average cart value have changed when you started implementing these rewards?
So,
Or to put it differently, would the customer have bought what you're offering for free anyway if you didn't give a reward?
it depends what we are giving for free.
Right.
So it's maybe they wouldn't have bought it, the thing which we are giving to them for free.
Right.
So how to say it? It's like there are hot selling SKUs and there are slow moving SKUs. So what we are giving as a free item to our customers are say the slow moving SKUs. That's what we are doing.
Just to add to that, we tried something similar a couple of years back, pre-COVID. So for every purchase in the festival season over, I think it was 5,000, the customer would, they used to get a scratch card and they used to get a confirmed silver coin and there was a chance of winning a gold coin. It actually worked wonders. We were also very surprised, and again, then COVID happened, we never did it after that. But it's a very interesting point, rewarding the customer during festival time, even though it can take a hit on your bottom line, but it can definitely contribute a lot to your top line.
Right, so finally to wrap up the session, I think we're already out of time. In 2 sentences, what are the new mantras for engaging, rewarding and retaining customers? The session's namesake. Just a summary of what you think the new mantras are.
I would say re-engage at this point in time, and that's the word that we will do, because we were already engaged, and I think it's the time post-COVID especially to re-engage. So that's my mantra.
I would say safety, convenience, technology and loyalty.
I would say enriching the customer experience, and I just thought of a reward program for my customers. We can take them for a reward to the beer cafe, and we can work out something amongst ourselves. In B2B, I think that's the best reward we can give. Yeah.
So for me, for my category, I would say I would have to bring in more new products with innovation so that I can engage my customers well.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you to the audience also for being a very patient audience.
Ashim Ashok Patil, MD and CEO, Infotek Software and Systems Private Limited, please step forward. And I would request our moderator, Arush Kakkar, founder, Agrex.ai Spectra, to felicitate Mr. Ashim Ashok Patil. With big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mayank Mohan, Director, Mohanlal Sons. Nitin Bansal, Head, BD, MINISO Lifestyle Private Limited. Rahul Singh, Founder and CEO, The Beer CAFÉ. And to felicitate our moderator, Arush Kakkar, I would like to invite on stage Lawrence Fernandez, Director, Membership and Retail Learning, RAI.